7 a.m. Sunday morning. There is a blizzard coming to the Northeast. Flights are canceled everywhere. But I am hopping on what American Airlines basically said was the only group of the day to get out. Hey, it's Samantha, and this is Ever After Adventures, where we chase the magic, outsmart the chaos, and make Disney work for us. So let's rope drop this. Picture it. It's 7 a.m. Sunday morning. There is a blizzard coming to the Northeast. Flights are canceled everywhere. But I am hopping on what American Airlines basically said was the only group of the day to get out, and somehow we did. So for the week leading up to this past Sunday, there has been ups and downs of a blizzard coming from nothing to 24 inches. And it was probably one of the first times that I actually followed the path of a storm. And let me tell you, it's pretty annoying. So I can see why people get anxious over it, because literally you would look at, noon and it would be like there's nothing coming. And then 2 hours later, it would completely change. So tracking it was pretty crazy. So anyway, my girlfriends said, let's get out. Let's go to Disney for a couple days and let's stay at the Polynesian Club Level. So I talked to my husband about it. I talked to my mother-in-law about it, and they were super supportive of me to go. There was supposed to be 4 of us. One friend ended up backing out last minute, which I totally understand just because of so many different factors. Were we going to get back? Were we going to get out? We did not really know. So 3 of us hopped on a plane. I went out of Philly. My other 2 friends went out of Newark. And let me tell you, I was manifesting 2 snow days before we left. And I can't believe that it actually happened for my job, because I didn't have to do any sort of calling out, any unpaid days. The whole chaos of it all in a whirlwind of 48 hours down in Florida was just one of the best experiences that I had. So I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, went down to the Philly airport with just a carry-on. And like I said, American Airlines was like, you guys are probably our only flight getting out of Philly today. So we clapped about that, had a little bit of turbulence. And then the second we landed, the energy shifted and we were there. So let's talk about what was this trip about. This is a very quick girls trip, 48 hours. We were staying Polynesian Club Level. This was my first ever club level experience. And let me tell you, it was perfection. Such little sleep that we were getting. This was just going to be a maximum strategy trip that also was going to be relaxing as we were away. And this was my first girls trip. I've gone with my husband. I've gone with my kids. I've gone with my family and extended family, my grandparents. But this was my first girls only trip. So today I'm going to break down what was worth it, what wasn't, and what I absolutely would do again. So let's start off with the pixie dust, what Disney got right. So the Poly Club Level is a separate building. It is elite energy. I didn't know what to expect. I did a little bit of research on it. I knew that there could be some cheeseburger egg rolls in the mix and that there was some wine and beer included. But other than that, I really didn't know. So as a recap, why Club Level worked for this short trip is because it saved time. There are built-in snacks, built-in breakfast, built-in nightcap, built-in fireworks viewing area. We had planned to only do 1 day of parks and 1 day of non-parks. So that first day we were there, it was just so great to just be there. And you can use the amenities all day on check-in and all day in check-out, which is really cool because my friends actually did have to stay a couple of extra days because of the snow. And so that last day when they checked out, they actually could use all the amenities in Club Level, which was pretty cool. So something I love, first of all, you walk in and just like in the regular buildings, you get your lei, you're greeted, but it's a much smaller area, much more secluded because only Club Level people can go in it. You walk in and there's a Hawaiian water station. It's coconut water, lemonade, and blue curacao, which was perfect for a post-plane ride drink. And then, of course, there's a bottle of champagne next to it. So you could make a Hawaiian water mimosa, which was pretty cool. You also get unlimited wine at dinner, but I think at any time you can ask for wine. And then at the desserts, they also had it, and it was good wine. It wasn't cheap bottom shelf wine. I mean, it wasn't $100 bottles of wine, but Kendall Jackson was one of the brands. That's a great staple name. I love my wines. I got the rosé, which I forget which brand it was, but it was delicious. I do not like a sweet rosé. This was perfectly dry. It looked like a Pinot Noir grape color of rosé, so it was that like deeper pink. It was just delicious. Another meal that I really liked, there was little mini Mickey waffles, and it was topped with fried chicken and a spicy sriracha. Obviously, the cheeseburger egg rolls were delicious. And then they had a deconstructed fruit smoothies for dinner the one night, and I thought like, what, isn't this like a fruit salad? But it was more like chopped up Hawaiian type fruits. I know there was like some coconut shavings in there. Anyway, it was really delicious. It wasn't anything that I've ever tried before. Another thing I really loved is the coffee machine, a beautiful espresso maker. After I figured out how to use it, you could get that all day. And when you're in Disney, coffees are expensive. And also, like, for example, when we went to Magic Kingdom, the line to get Starbucks was crazy long. And this was great because they had cups, or you could do to-go cups as well. So in the morning, I just got a to-go cup, or like if I needed to pick me up during the day, it was great. Unlimited Mickey bars, which were also amazing. Can't have a trip without a Mickey bar. And they also had the Mickey sandwiches, which were something that I never had before. I've had the Mickey bars, but they were like a cookies and cream flavor, so that was pretty cool. There's also non-alcoholic options. They had spa water. They had unlimited Pog juice, which if you are a Disney person, you know that's great. So we also did a little Pog mimosas. And then they had like Diet Coke, juices, all of those things there that you could get at any time. And then another really great thing was that at the fireworks time, because there is the view of the Magic Kingdom, they had little desserts. They had macaroons. They had like a mini cone, and then it was a sweet fruit in the middle with a little whipped cream. Like, it was whipped. It was delicious. There was some macaroon muffins, regular muffins, or not macaroon, chocolate muffins. There was just a bunch of stuff. And then also at the dinner time hour, there was huge cheese plates of stuff, which was great if you love that as well. Our room was awesome. It was right on the first floor, which was super close to where you could get to club level. So when you walk into the lobby, if you go up the stairs to the left, there's the club level food and there's seating, and then there's another floor if that is full. But then if you go to the right, there's rooms. We were on the first level, probably about 6 or 7 rooms down. So it took like 4 minutes to get to the top for food. Like I said, it's your own building, so everybody in there is using club level. And then, you have the fireworks view from our room, which was pretty cool. We didn't know. It did say water view, but technically water view could be the pool. And there were, a couple pool view options that you could be seeing. But we got Bay Lake view, which was great. And we were right behind the bungalows. You could see Magic Kingdom on top of the bungalows, but the fireworks view from our room was like amazing. And then all the piped in music you could hear, it was perfect. The beds, there was 2 queen beds, and then there was the couch that turned into like a Murphy bed. And then the Moana touches were just super cool. It was a beautiful room. I really liked it. The only thing it's not just that room that I don't love is the like see-through showers for like if you're going on a girls' trip. So it's not like someone couldn't shower and like do their makeup in the bathroom, but whatever. So anyway, for 48 hours, this trip was about traveling smarter, not harder. That was all the positives. Now let's do the plot twist. So the plot twist, we're gonna break down some of the negatives of the trip, which I don't like to be negative, but listen, I'm going to talk about them both. So the first was that even though I was escaping a blizzard, it was freezing down there. The morning was super cold on Monday morning. And then we did do extended hours at EPCOT, and we didn't even stay the whole time because it was literally freezing. Also, like, in extended hours, I haven't done them. I guess every Monday for Deluxe guests at EPCOT, it is extended hours from 9 to 11. So at 9, the fireworks are going off. And so the park is pretty packed. We actually wanted to check out Frozen because of the new animatronics in it. And the line at fireworks time was still like 55 to 60 minutes. So we figured, all right, well, after the fireworks are done, we'll go right there. We still waited about 20 minutes for it. But when we left, the line was like pretty long. EPCOT after hours, you're going to do what? Test Track, Soarin', Frozen, Remy, Guardians, but all the wait times were like 30 to 45 minutes. Again, it's not that bad, but to only have pretty much like an hour and a half by the time everyone's out of line, I think it was cool to do that one extra ride, but I could have stayed or not. We got back by like 10:15, which was pretty cool. My next first world complaint is my only real complaint about the Poly Club Level, and that is the fireworks lounge complaint. So they have a really cool dessert area. They have liqueur that you can have. They have the wine. It's perfect. Then you can sit down and you have the perfect second level view of Magic Kingdom and the fireworks. However, they did not dim the lights. So like the lights were super bright and it was reflecting off of everything. So it like wasn't a great view. If they would have just dimmed the lights, which I thought they're supposed to do, you could have seen the fireworks perfectly, and it would have been great because, like I said, it was really cold, so we wouldn't have to go outside, but whatever. So we watched the first probably like 4 minutes of the fireworks in there, and then we went downstairs to where the beach was, and then we actually didn't think that we had fireworks view from our room because of the bungalows, but our one friend went back and she checked it out and she's like, it's perfect. And it was. The music was going, the music was pumped through. But yeah, like that minor fix would really elevate the experience. My next complaint, I guess, my breakdown, whatever, and we all knew this as well, 2026 is a tough time for Disney construction. Magic Kingdom had a lot of it. The Haunted Mansion has a huge covering outside of it that looks like the Haunted Mansion, but it's not the building. I guess they're doing a lot of work to the actual building. Like the ride is open, but it's not, it's covered. So I feel like that's going to be like that for a while. And I didn't know that was a thing. Obviously, Tom Sawyer area has all the walls up. That's becoming the Cars Land. Big Thunder Mountain still wasn't open. So the park energy felt a little like transitional. So that would be my complaint about that. And lastly, I got to talk about the Frozen animatronics. I wanted to go on that ride so badly to see how they updated it. And like it was not as strong as expected. Anna looked like she had been smoking a little something before we pulled through on the boat. I really didn't think it was that big of a difference. And I really didn't think that, I don't know, her like one eye was a little wonky, like blinking slower. And I don't know, it wasn't that great, but the magic outweighed the negative. So let's get into the magic move. This is where we're going to get strategic. So we have 48 hours to be in Disney. So day one, we got there. This is where Club Level was, like I said, really cool. We ate, we relaxed. We couldn't go in the pool because it was really cold. We went over to Trader Sam's, which was really great. I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. We went over to the Grand Floridian to the Perch Bar, which was really cool. And I'll talk about that. Came back, got ready. We went to dinner at Narcoossee's, and then we went to the Enchanted Rose for a cocktail, and then ended up with the fireworks dinner party before going to bed. And then day two was our park day. We ended up getting the park hopper because I feel like if you try to split it to 2 days, which is also fine as well, but I personally liked the one day at the resort and the one day in the parks because I can get overwhelmed and want to stay in the parks forever, not want to leave. So we did Magic Kingdom in the morning, we did the major ride, we did Tron, and we did 2 classics. We did Haunted Mansion and Pirates. Then we left. We actually, when we were leaving, the monorail was broken down, closed, I guess. And so we ended up taking the bus to Yacht Club and walking in the back entrance of EPCOT where we got some snacks. And then, again, we did one major ride, which was Guardians, and we did a couple smaller ones. We did Soarin'. I think that's really it. We didn't really do many rides. The Deluxe park strategy, doing one priority ride, so we didn't have to book that for the daytime. And it's more of like, not like let's conquer everything. It was like pick one win. Something else that I do want to talk about is that transportation, you have to have flexibility in that for everything. The monorail, like I said, was down. And so we're like, okay, what should we do? And security said, well, you can take the ferry over to the transportation center, and then you can pick up the other monorail there. That was going to be a longer wait, so we opted to actually take the bus to Beach and Yacht Club and then walk over to the back entrance of EPCOT. The other thing was that, Polynesian is on the monorail loop, so I kind of just assumed we would take the monorail everywhere, but I was so unaware that the walk from the transportation center to Polynesian was so short. It's like a 5-minute walk from there, so we actually did that. We just took We got off at the transportation center when leaving EPCOT and then walked to our room in the Polynesian. And if you are club level, it's closer. So that's pretty cool. The other thing, let's talk about Trader Sam's. Trader Sam's is now open earlier. Before, I think it opened at 1 or 3, but now it's open at 11 a.m. or maybe 1 p.m. I have to check that. Anyway, the coolest part is that you can actually join the waitlist from the app, which we could not do in the past. Maybe you could, maybe we weren't close enough. But staying at the Polynesian, this is a huge, huge benefit because we were in the club level and able to go onto the Disney app, put ourselves on the wait list, and we were close enough to actually get on it. And then they called us in. They actually called us in about like 20 minutes later, and they're like, you can come in now or you can wait that hour and a half that it originally said. And we opted to wait just so we could do some other stuff. They also have a really cool souvenir mug in there. And, you know, the experience is better than all of the drinks. You have to get one of the souvenir drinks just to see how cool the servers and bartenders make it, and the experience in the actual bar is really cool. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in my last part, but I did think that it was so cool we could just join the wait list right from the club level. So let's get into if I were you. So if I were you, I would book club level if you are going with girlfriends or you're going with your husband. I personally would not book it for my family because I didn't think it would be worth it with my kids because they like really wouldn't eat all the stuff that was there. The food was really good, but I feel like it was more adult forward. And I think that my kids would not have loved it. But for a girls trip, for your significant other, my husband actually just upgraded us to Beach Club level when we go in August. So I'm really excited about that. If I were you, I'd also stop trying to maximize every minute. This was such a great trip because we kind of just went with the flow, which is very rare for Disney, especially if you're with kids. We switched some rides up. You know, we didn't let that bother us. We ate, we drank, you know, whatever. Like I talked about the 3 ride rule, you pick your 3 rides. And we did do that for everything. EPCOT, we did Guardians, Soarin', and Frozen, which was great. We tried to do Test Track, but it was kind of broken down, so whatever, we didn't do that. And then, like I said, Magic Kingdom, we did Tron, Haunted Mansion, and we did Pirates. And we actually rope dropped Haunted Mansion, which was super fun. I've only rope dropped Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or the carousel with my kids. But rope drop for Haunted Mansion is like the old school rope drop. There's a rope there, and then they drop it, and, you know, we got right on, which is pretty cool. Other thing that I'm going to stick with that a lot of people, you know, probably might not, that 7 a.m. flight in and out. You just have to suck it up for like a couple days. But that 4 a.m. pickup, just committing to be tired, like I'm in for it. Also, just build in a sit and enjoy moment per park. It's so important. We're so rushed in Disney all the time. And the more I go, the more I realize like just enjoying is the whole point of it. And when you're rushing from ride to ride or place to place, you know, this trip really wasn't about riding everything. It was about escaping the snowstorm. Remember that I can still say yes to fun, even though I'm a mom and a wife, and you can go for this bonus trip and just enjoy it. All right, so let's talk about the food and drink highlights. We're going to talk about, we ate dinner at Narcoossee's. My favorites, I got the key lime pie martini and the mascarpone espresso martini. I personally love it. It has a Parmesan crisp on top. My friends did not love the Parmesan crisp, but that's okay. I got the scallops. That was really delicious. The meal had asparagus with it and a starch. Their scallops were great. They weren't too tough. I was really impressed with it. And then the shrimp and grits for the app is a little bit spicy, but it was still really good. When we were in EPCOT, we actually ate at Le Cellier, which was my first time eating there. It's beautiful inside. I got the filet and I got the Brussels sprouts as a side with it. We split the poutine for our appetizer, and then I got the creme brulee for dessert. I was so full leaving, like I needed to do many, many laps in that. And then Trader Sam's, I got the Tahitian torch, which was delicious. It was a Tito's based. And then my friend Brittany got the Nautilus, which is a souvenir mug. And it is a little more expensive. It's $65. You get to keep the mug, though, and it is technically for 2 people. At the Enchanted Rose, I got the Lavender Fog, which was great. At the Perch, so the Perch is the new lounge in the Grand Floridian. If you haven't been there, it opened in, I believe, November. They have a very limited drink menu. You cannot just like go up and order whatever you want. I ended up getting the rosé. It was a great rosé. It was good to just go in and sit down for it. There's only like 8 seats at the bar, I think. So You can sit though anywhere you want in the lounge, and then you just go up and order, which is pretty cool. So EPCOT, also another thing to mention was that it was the last day of Festival of the Arts, so it was cool to like check all that stuff out. I got the special margarita at La Cava. The password was the Dom sent me, and it was delicious. It had like a cold foam on top. It had honeydew in it. It wasn't too sweet, but it was delicious. One of my favorite staples is the Viking coffee in Norway. You can get the hot version or the cold version. I did the hot version this time because it was cold, and I think I liked it a little bit better than the cold version, only because you could feel the alcohol in it and also the heat, and I really loved that. Always also got to get a champagne in France. I did that. And then my favorite underrated snack that's under $5 in Epcot is the waffle ice cream. I got the strawberry one. You just go to the back of all the way in the back of Japan where you check out, and you can ask the cashier, and they'll get it right from the freezer behind you. It was delicious. So yeah, let's close it out. Overall, it was a great trip. The last night I went to bed at midnight. My driver picked me up, Victor. Shout out to him. He's awesome. If you ever need a driver, I'll link in his info as well. He picked me up at 4 a.m., took the 7 a.m. home, and I was back in PA by early afternoon. I was exhausted. I was frozen, but I was filled with magic, and it was the perfect way to spend 48 hours outside of a blizzard in Pennsylvania. So that's going to wrap it up for this recap of my trip. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you have any questions about club level, about a girls' trip, about whatever we talked about today. And I will see you next week. So keep the magic, skip the chaos, and I'll meet you on Main Street.